going to go back to my tattoo roots. I haven't done a tattoo video in so long, and I'm so sorry about that. But finally, because it is the Halloween season, my favourite time of year, in today's video I'm going back to my tattoo roots and I'm going to show you guys my tattoo sleeve because it is a horror themed or horror inspired. And I thought, what better time of year to show you guys. Hopefully this video won't be too long. There's not too much to the tattoo sleeve, but I'm going to show you guys quite in depth of everything. It is finished, minus one thing, which, you know, is one of those things that I completely forgot about until like today. And I was like, oh, right, so that needs doing. But apart from that, it's all done and completed and I'm so in love with it, obviously. Okay, so let's get down to the basics. I started this sleeve in February 2013. A guy called Mark Watson did it. I've mentioned him in a video before, but he's done the whole thing. No other artist has touched this arm. Mark Watson has done everything, including this rose, which was there before the sleeve. So this rose has nothing to do with my sleeve. It's just there because it was there before. Mark Watson started it in February 2013, and it took pretty much a year to do. That was with a session every month. They varied from like a 4-hour session to like an 8-hour session. It varied. I can't remember what took how long. I can just about remember what session was what, if that makes sense. So say this tree was 1 session or 2. See, I can't remember. But the tree was 1 session or 2, and that was the first part of the sleeve. More of that later. Pain wise and stuff like that, it varied on each part of the arm. Elbow was definitely the worst. There was ink in there at one point, but it has come out, unfortunately, and I don't really fancy going back to have it done. It's not that it hurt, it's just the feeling and the noise. Like, I'm much more of a noise person, and the sound of it like grinding on my elbow, just even thinking about it makes me shudder. The inspiration for my sleeve was a film, and it was actually The Ring. I remember when I first saw that film and I saw the videotape, I was like, wow, that is disturbingly cool. And underneath my elbow I actually have The Ring tattooed. The Ring, well, her name's Samara, but I have Samara coming out of the well underneath my elbow. But the rest of the sleeve doesn't really look like The Ring, but I wanted that whole spooky woods vibe. I was initially going to get the cabin in the woods from The Ring, not the actual film Cabin in the Woods, but you get where I'm going. So I was going to get the cabin in the woods that's in The Ring. So many horror films on the top of my arm. But because a cabin is sort of just like a block like this, it would have looked bizarre on so many levels. So initially I ended up researching like houses and looking at spooky houses, and I found one. I think I found it on DeviantArt, but it is on Google if you Google it. Because it's a spooky house and it's a tall house, it goes more up my arm instead of a cabin, which would have just been, you know, like a little armband. So the first thing I got on my sleeve was an Optical illusion skull tree. As you can see here, it is a realism looking tree. If you look in the branches here, there's a skull. It's pretty nifty. I mean, it's one of those things you can see straight away. Like, it's not an unobvious thing, which is why I wanted it to be like, there's a skull in your tree. Okay, so as you can see here, there's this, like, the front door and stuff like that. And we'll go down here. I've got to try and twist my arm. And this bit is from the Optical illusion tree, and then we've got a tree here. And that is the house there. It's like a 3-4 story house. And if I wrap my arm around here, so you can see, like, there's a lot of detail in here. It's freaking amazing. Wrap around there, and there's a tree again, and there's another one there. That's pretty much the whole of the top of my sleeve. I've got some clouds up here and a moon, which actually isn't done. Like, it's one of those things like you completely forget about, and then you're like, oh, I've got to do a video. Oh, my moon's not done. So that will eventually be done whenever I get round to it. This rose here is an old tattoo. It's nothing to do with this whole sleeve, but it's just there, and you managed to sort of blend it in quite well. That is the top half. That's probably the easiest bit to show, but as you saw, it's just a spooky house, clouds, moon, 3 trees, and one is the Optical illusion tree. So the lower half is, as you can see here, the elbow is blank. There was ink in there, it's come out. There's the house, and then we've got stairs leading from the house, and like grass and stuff like that. And we've got like a unicycle. Is it a unicycle? Tricycle? No, tricycle. We've got a tricycle to make it extra creepy. And then we have a graveyard. This is not a baby, let me just explain, it is a doll. I don't have dead babies tattooed on me. See, there's the ring there. She had to be added in because I really wanted the well from the ring. But if you just have like a random brick thing, it would have just looked like a wall or something. So my tattoo artist was like gnarly and just went for it. So there's Samara, or the ring, whichever you want to call her. That's the way it sort of wraps around my arm. And there it is again there. Go to this portrait of a sinister looking lady. I wanted her to look evil, but not too evil. The inspiration behind her was actually the American Horror Story poster. I wanted her to obviously look more human and female. And if I spin my arm around, she actually has her arms out and she's holding a raven, so it's like a massive black bird. And then down here, there's actually like smoke and stuff. It's as if she's sort of like come out of the ground with a load of smoke, and then within the smoke there's just a subtle little skull guy here, another little optical illusion type thing. Her other arm is holding a bleeding heart. And there's a lot of detail in that one as well. You can see all like the veins. Now the reason why the heart is red and nothing else in the whole tattoo is red is because I have a tattoo on my wrist that's old. It's normally actually covered up by my watch, but this is an old bow and it's upside down, so I apologise in advance. But as you can see here, this is an old tattoo. It's black. Luckily it was black and grey as well, and there was blood dripping off of it. This is when the horror fan-ness come into play. And that's it. That is pretty much... Oh, that's hard work. And that's all I can say today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was in-depth enough for you. If you've got any questions, just comment down below. And if you haven't got any questions, just comment down below like a sleeve that you would love. Like, think of a scenery that you would love to have tattooed on you, like so with the, like mine with the spooky house and the garden and the trees, or maybe like something from a film, like with a castle. I don't know, just comment down below a sleeve that you would love that tells a story. Please subscribe, because I've got a lot planned for this month and I'm just going to be whacking out videos left, right and centre. And stay tuned, that's all I can say. So until next time, bye!